What's up, everyone? Back for another Whodunit Beer review, and today's beer comes courtesy of a very good friend of mine and fellow BeerTuber, Tyler, over at South10 Beer Reviews. So huge thanks to him for this beer. In the description box, I will post a link to Tyler's channel along with the beer mail boxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with, and he hooked me up with 2 different Whodunit beers to review. This is the first of the 2. So like I said, huge thanks to Tyler. Go check out his channel. Great guy, great reviews, and he has also done some mystery beer reviews lately, so go check him out. Now, if you are unfamiliar with what Whodunit Beer Reviews are, they are basically blind/mystery beer reviews where somebody will wrap up and conceal a beer like Tyler did with this one. They will then either send or give me said beer, and I'll review it like I do any other beer on my channel, with the lone exception being I obviously have no idea what it is. So at the end of the review, I try to guess the beer's style, its ABV, and I rate it before revealing it to both you and myself. So what do we know about this one? Well, it seems like it's in a 12-ounce can. Now, when it comes to 12-ounce cans, my mind instantly races towards bigger craft breweries or even macro breweries. So that's the first thing I think of when I think of 12-ounce cans. Although a couple weeks ago, you will see a review that I did of a Whodunit beer, courtesy of another good friend of mine and a fellow BeerTuber, Ridge, over at Ridgeopolis, aka Get a Nose on a Beer Reviews. And that's what I started thinking in the review, and it turns out that it was from Burial, who I didn't even know put beers in 12-ounce cans. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? One of my favorite craft breweries here in Buffalo is Big Ditch, and most of their beers are in 12-ounce cans. So why do I instantly start gravitating towards bigger craft breweries and macro breweries? I have no idea. But anyway, it's in a 12-ounce can. It comes from Tyler, who resides in the state of Tennessee, but Tyler gets his hands on crazy beers. Like, there's breweries that distribute to his area that are just insane. So I have no idea. When we pour it, that's when we'll have somewhat of an idea what the style is. Outside of that, I have no idea. So we're going to crack this one open, give it a pour, see what we got going on here. So it looks like, is that a darker beer? It looks like, okay. Yeah, it's a darker beer, and it looks kind of thick. So off the top of my dome piece, I'm starting to think about, different styles. Stout porter. It's the first thing that comes to mind when I crack this one open. Very akin to the last one I did. All right. Put it over here like this, whatever, it doesn't matter. Now, I also didn't look at the bottom of the can in case there is a canned on date. Just want to go into this one strictly blind. I don't really care to know the date of this one. It could be older, could be fresher. I don't really care. Anyway, what does that look like? Well, that looks, like I said, like a porter or stout, and I would say imperialized based on, there's not really like sheets up here, but what I'm looking at, I would guess this is probably in like the 8 to 9% range. That's based on the alcohol legs, the look of the beer, how it poured. That's what I would say right now. It has a one finger of this, I would say that's a light brown, almost mocha colored head, very creamy looking. The actual base of the beer here is, you're going to see pitch black. To me, it's a real dark brown. There's a little bit of like a ruby red, darker brown tinge at the bottom. But yeah, porter, stout, something like that. That's my guess initially. Let's get a nose. Okay, wow. There's like a pretty big hop note to this one. That's weird. Okay, so I'm getting like roasted malts. I'm getting like bittering chocolate, coffee. So a little bit of sweetness in there, like a little bit of a chocolate, almost molasses thing. But then I'm hitting in the face with hops, like definitely hops. And right off the top of my dome piece, I don't think I've ever had a stout this hoppy before. So now I'm starting to think, maybe like a black IPA. One of the most, I'd say, hop-forward stouts that I've ever had was Victory Storm King. That one, fresh, almost comes off as a black IPA, not really stout. Even with like 6 months to a year of age on it, that one still comes off more of like a black IPA. I'm not saying that this is that beer. I'm just saying this kind of reminds me of that beer where it's like really, really hop-forward, but with like a stout base. So that's why I'm jumping to black IPA in the nose. There's like an earthy, piney thing going on, but then there's like fruit. There's like definite fruit. Like, when it comes to beers like this, where they're darker, whether it's a black IPA or a really hop-forward stout, I always struggle with when the hop character is there with that fruitiness and then the beer, because it doesn't always work. And in this one, it's kind of weird because I get all that base, like roasted malt character, and then I'm hit with like fruity and piney hops, and it's very weird to my palate. Well, to my nose. But yeah, there's like orange and tangerine, maybe a little grapefruit. There's like citrus tones, maybe a little bit of like a pineapple thing, piney, earthy, resinous. Yeah. Okay, so First, when I looked at it, I said stout and porter. Now I'm smelling it. I'm saying like a black IPA or like imperial black IPA. Smelling this, it smells big and boisterous. I'd still stick by that 8 to 9%, maybe like 8 to 10%. Again, the legs are there, but they're not like crazy, so I'm not thinking it's over 10%. Anyway, I'm gonna get to it. So cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Tyler. Okay, so hang on. I was gonna say something, and now the finish hit me. Yeah, I think this is, it might not be a black IPA. It might just be like a hoppy stout, or it might be like a Russian imperial stout or imperial stout that's just more hop forward. There's definitely a lot of hops. It's moderately bitter on the back of the palate. It's dry. Let's go body mouthfeel. I'm going to do this, like I said, any other review, and then we'll try to guess it at the end. Body on this one was like medium, touch over medium, approaching low full. So I think, again, that 8 to 10% kind of range is kind of where I'm landing with this one. The mouthfeel, there's carbonation, but it's like mild to moderately carbonated, so there's a nice, soft, smooth, slight creaminess. I really like the body and mouthfeel. It's really nice. It's not, you know, huge, thick, and chewy, but it has enough heft to the body to let you know this is a bigger beer, which I think it is. The mouthfeel is soft, smooth, and creamy, but still has carbonation. I'll let you know it is a carbonated beverage. The taste right there in front of the palate. There's roasted malt, almost charry. Then there's bittering chocolate, like 50-60% cacao bar. There's molasses. There's a little bit of caramel. There's a lot of bittering and sweet components mixing at the front of my palate. And as it passes through, halfway through the palate, it sweetens up a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting prepared. It's going to be sweeter. It's going to be sweeter. No. There's a huge bitterness that hits. I won't say huge. I'd say, like I said, moderate bitterness when I first kind of took a sip of it. It's moderately bitter. It's semi to full-on dry. There's a lingering resinous hop tone. It's almost, and maybe this is where, you know, the last review is going to help me. The last review that you'll see, if I post them in order, should be from Steven, the Whodunit Beer Review. And it ended up being Stone Farkin Wheat and Wheat Stout. And that's 11.5% like imperial stout with pecans, wheat, rye, and a quarter of it aged in bourbon barrels. And I was getting this huge dryness that when I reviewed it, I was thinking, okay, or after I unveiled it, I was thinking it came from maybe the rye, but then I was thinking maybe it was the pecan dryness. I'm kind of getting that here, but I can now tell the difference. This is, to me, and again, watch me open this up and it's like a barrel-aged beer or something. I'm not getting any barrel presence, but that dryness on the back of the palate is more of a resinous kind of hop bitterness as opposed to like an oak tannin kind of bitterness or dryness. I don't think this is barrel-aged at all because there's no spirit on the tongue. There's no vanilla. There's nothing indicating me this is barrel-aged at all, except for, again, that dryness, but I think it's from the hops. The finish was cool, though, because after that, as I swallow, there's a little bit of that citrus kind of feel to it, and it's like a juicy but pithy kind of tangerine and like a ruby red grapefruit, maybe a touch of like a pineapple. Much like the Wheat Stout, I'm not a huge fan of this one. This isn't great to me. It's better than that beer, though, because it's not as dry and bitter, and there's a little bit more like fruitiness going on. So I think I like this one better than my last Whodunit, but I still don't think this is like, I guess for me, big, bittering imperial stouts are what I think potentially is a black IPA here, or maybe just like a hop forward stout. I just don't like that as much. I want more of a balance. I need a little bit more sweetness here, or maybe a little bit more fruitiness and juiciness to kind of balance out, because this is moderately dry. It's almost, or moderately bitter. It's almost fully dry, like almost like semi to full on dry. So just for me, I'm not a huge fan of that. I've mentioned it in many reviews. So when I do a Whodunit and it pops up, yeah. Not much more to say about it. I gave the last beer a 3.5. I'm gonna go a little higher with this one. I think, as far as style goes, I'm going to say an imperial black IPA. I think I'm going to go that over a hop forward stout, although if I open that up and it says American stout, I'm cool with it. But I think this is an imperial, I think this is an imperial black IPA. I said 8 to 9 originally, and then it's an 8 to 10. Tasting it, it hides the booze well. If this is over 8%, it hides the booze well. Because I saw, you know, there's legs on there. and I can tell this is a bigger one from the mouthfeel and the body, but I wouldn't say this is substantially bigger than what I originally thought. I don't want to just go like 9% just because it's in between 8 and 10. So I go 9.2. Imperial Black IPA, 9.2%. No adjuncts, no barrel aging, nothing. Just a straight on Imperial Black IPA, 9.2%. I think. Yeah, we're going to lock that in. Ridge, we're going to lock that in. All right, let's open this one up. So you put the black tape on here. Electric tape, it looks like. I don't recognize the label. I don't think this is from a brewery I've ever had before. Certainly not a beer I've had before. By the way, rating on this, low 3.75, 3.7. Gave the Whodunit Stout a 3.5. I'm thinking it's a little bit better, but not much. Hutton and Smith. Never heard of these guys. What the fuck is it? It's a black IPA. Fucking right, boys. This is okay. All right, so it doesn't say Imperial though, so now I'm worried about the ABV because I didn't see it. Motherfuckers. Bivouac? I don't know. I'm terrible at pronunciations. Black IPA. It balances resin, pine, orange, and grapefruit hop character with coffee and roasted notes. Yeah, I would say so. 8.9%. So I said 9.2, so I should have just went with 9 originally. Brewed and packaged in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Does it have a canned on date? It does. 7/26/21. About 5.5 months old, like a little bit over 5.5 months old. No, we're like almost 6 months old. Almost 6 months old. So, yeah, it says black IPA. It should say Imperial Black IPA or Imperial Cascadian Dark Ale, but yeah, let's put that over there. I said 9.2% Imperial Black IPA with nothing going on. It is a 8.9% Imperial Black IPA. Well, I don't know. It's 8.9%. Is it technically Imperial? Whatever. 8.9%. I was off 0.3 of the ABV, and I call it about a black IPA. I'm happy. I'd probably give myself like an A- here, almost an A. I missed on the ABV slightly. I think that's it. I'd go A. I think I did. It's all downhill from here. I think the first 3 solo reviews I've done since coming back have been pretty fucking good. There's no way I keep this up. There's no. I'm going to miss at some point, and it's going to be glorious, and everyone's going to enjoy it. Price and availability, I really don't do that in Whodunit. So, Tyler, if you want to let me know what you paid for this one and what the availability is. I know you're not in Chattanooga, so I'm sure it gets distroed in around Tennessee. And yeah, what do you guys think how do you guys think I did on this one? Because yeah, I'm fucking super happy. Oh, this is a World Beer Cup winner 2018 Gold Award. American Style Black Ale, yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll shut it down. I have 3 more beers in my possession as far as Whodunits go. I got 1 more from Tyler, 2 more from Steven. I'm probably going to go Steven, Tyler, Steven in that order. You will see them sprinkled out through the month of February and into early March. But after that, I have no more Whodunits because, it is what it is. People have to send them my way. So there's not much more to say about this one other than I'm super happy with how I did. The first one from Ridge that I did with the FLX guys, got kind of close, didn't exactly nail it. Then the one from Ridge I did pretty much nailed it. The one from Steven did a pretty good job, I thought. And then this one almost nailed it. So doing pretty good. The palate is still immaculate, not really. If you have never done these before, it's so fun. It really is. This is more fun than regular reviews because it's the only honest way to review a beer. But when you nail it, there is this feeling inside my body right now. Like I got like goosebumps. I'm just feeling great. But I know the next time I try one of these, which will be soon, I'm going to be nervous and just as nervous as the first one I ever did because it's still nerve-wracking going into them. Your mind starts racing. You really don't know. I was a little bit more confident in this one, and I think the last one, the last Whodunit helped me to some degree because with this one specifically, I kind of knew the bitterness and the dryness was different than what I was tasting. So in my mind, I was like, it's not that oak tannin, it's not barrel aged or anything. So I'm super happy. Okay, anyway, we're going to shut it down. This is probably like a 15, 20-minute review. All of these are usually longer because obviously I like to talk and like to break stuff down. So I apologize for that. But huge thanks to Tyler for this one. I will be doing his soon, the next one he got. He's, again, set 2 to me. I got 2 more from Steven, and then I'm out. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another Whodunit Beer review. Hopefully you're drinking a delicious black IPA because I'm drinking one it's solid. It's solid. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.